Hi guys, this is my scraper, as I've now decided to call it, probably because it says scraper on the top there, it says scraper on the seat inside the cab there, and I think it says scraper somewhere else as well, but never mind. Yeah, apparently it's a scraper. I've done quite a few videos on it already, and I wasn't going to do any more. And then I started thinking about all the bits that are broken on it. Now you might be able to see just there, I 3D printed a replacement piece there, because that bit was broken. In fact, the piece I put in there at the moment is just a temporary one. I've actually got a little keyhole slot in the bottom of it. This was a test piece, so that I haven't had to take it all apart to actually put it in place properly. These bits I can take off easily, they just slide off, and the axle, or what we want to call it, shaft comes out, and then we can just put it together. But the bottom one, down in there, hang on, let's do that. Right, that one there, I need to separate this plastic housing before I can get that out. So I did a temporary fix with one with a slot in the end, but I have got the finished item there to do it. That was the broken one, so that's my replacement. It's not a perfect exact match, but it's close enough for it to work. Next thing I'm going to do, oh no, before I talk about the next thing I'm going to do, I will just say I've had a good search online to find pictures of it to find out what's missing. And there's an awful lot missing. I hadn't realised just how much was missing. I don't think I'm going to spend time trying to restore it. But we've got these areas over the wheels, wheel arches, whatever you want to call them. They are missing from the front here entirely. There should be wheel arches on the front here. They should have lights on top of them, not working lights, but lights on top. We should have like shock absorbers or dampers, or even, I suppose on the original, they might be the hydraulic rams for actually pushing the arms up and down. They're missing from here, and likewise there's some missing down here that I think on the real machine would actually do the steering, push this side or push the other side. So they're missing. What else is missing? Oh, the rails up the side here. And one thing I did notice on one of the videos was that hole there is where the wire aerial comes out, or antenna. So I did think what I'd do today is I'll just see if I can get it apart and see if we can put a replacement aerial on it, because this one, the signal range is ridiculous. I've literally got to hold the transmitter or controller within a couple of feet of it. As soon as we get away from that, it starts shuddering and losing the signal. So I did have a bit of aerial wire laying here somewhere that had come off another toy, so that might be the right length. In fact, the picture I was looking at, it may be that somebody had already put a replacement on, because it was all wrapped all around the bodywork here. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. I've no idea what length the aerial should be, which is why I'm just going to use that. Can we remember how to get this apart? Luckily, when I was working on the differential, I could do it from the outside just by removing that cover plate there. But to get down to the receiver and the aerial, I'm going to have to get this right apart, I think. that's the replacement battery cover I printed and put on it. I don't think there's one in there. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Yes. It's currently got a tiny little bit of wire on there. So as I say, I'll put that one on there, which has come off another car. And poke it up through the hole. That looks to me that's probably right. The rear lights were working. Those ones, not these ones. Well, they've got holes in them, so they could possibly have had LEDs in there. Thing is, I don't know how much work somebody's done on this already. The fact there's so many bits missing, well, we'll never know, will we? Anyway, I'll solder that up and we'll see how we go. While I'm waiting for the soldering iron to warm up, I'll just say I was reading the reviews on this model and lots of people commented, looks really nice, plenty of detail on it, but the plastic quality on it is hopeless. All the pictures I've seen have got broken bits on them. So it looks like they had a good designer, but then they went and used cheap plastic, which is a shame, because it does look nice. Try not to lose the screws. Right, we'll come back later when I've soldered it. We don't need to sit and watch me waiting for the soldering iron to warm up. I've soldered the aerial on, but it just occurred to me while I've got it apart, I might as well pull this wheel off, which I've done, and get this apart and see if I can put my proper replacement piece on there. So it'll just be interesting to see if there's anything inside here. Well, we know there must be something inside here because there's the motor that lifts this up and down. But we can have a look at it. Because we haven't done that. Logically, this has got to come undone. That's a little square fitting there. Is that gonna? No, that's not going to come off easily. I've probably got to undo the other one as well. And that's been knurled over. That doesn't want to come undone. one didn't want to come undone. Right, loosen them off. Then we can get that apart. Just there is a screw that goes into the cross member there. You can just see the indentation now. I actually had to unscrew it on that side the other day. Right, are we ready for this? Is it going to come apart easily? Is it? No. I might do. There's another screw at this end. Just here. You see that? You probably can't see it. The camera's not quite the right angle. Right, so we can see what we have here. That's the steering thing. Right, we've just got the one motor in it. I am rather interested in getting this bit apart. Just to see if there's anything that actually moves this bit up and down, which you can't see, but that's the bit I'm moving. I think it's just spring loaded. Ooh, a lot of gears. Let's push that one down. Right. Oh, there is a gear on that thing. But it looks like we might be missing the gear that aligns with that. Is that going to come out nicely? Right, that comes out. Right, well that one should flick that up and down. Maybe it only does it at the full length of the travel. I'll have to move the camera a bit so you can see, I think. Can we zoom in? Let's zoom. Right, so I've taken that one out, which fits just there. So that one fits on there. We've got a lot of reduction gears so that that little motor can actually lift it up and down. Yeah, lots. You can see it's double layer up to there. And then that's got some sort of a clutch on it, which is what that spring does. And then this thing, as I say, also it's got those 3 teeth on it, and it's not broken, it is just those 3 teeth. Oh, I'm too close out of focus, sorry. Just those 3 teeth that look like they go on there to flick this up and down. Oh, curses. Just knocked one of the screws on the floor. That'll take a bit of finding. So, yeah, that definitely should flick that up and down. Put that the right way up, it might help. So that's got to go in the right order. Lift that out, put that in. That's got to go in. Yeah. Well, it's all there. So now I've got to dive on the floor and find that screw I just dropped. Put that back on. Make sure we've got them all lined up. Oh, silly me, before I do that, I want to take this bit apart so I can swap that leg over. Right, it looks to me like this might just lift off if I'm lucky. I don't want to lift off. Can I push that one through? No. Oh, this is going to be a pain. There we go. Right, that's the bit we want. Does that come apart? It's got to come apart. It's not screwed together. I might just have to do a bit of leverage. Now what will happen, if I try levering it too much, it'll just snap. I bet they've glued it. Ah! Right, while I'm fiddling I can see why it's not moving. It's missing teeth there. That's why it's not being moved by the cam. Oh dear, that's another bit I'm going to have to reprint. That's going to be a... I don't think I can reprint that, to be honest. Not easily. That's a very complicated shaped piece. Right, let's get this one apart. Right, that one comes off. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing because I'm zoomed in too far. Right, I'm getting that one off. That's the bit I want to get off, but it looks like this piece is, well, it is clearly broken. Teeth are missing there. I don't know if that piece will separate. No, I don't seem to be able to separate that, and I can't see any way that I'm going to print that, 3D print that to replace it. That's far too complicated for me. So I'll just have to try and push that bar through so we can get this one off. Well, we can get this one off just by pulling that off, because I've done that. But if I try and bend that up enough to clear it, then that's going to break. Right, I'll try and tack that through. Oh, hang on, it's come off the other way. It must be tight. Got it off, but it's a tight fit on there. Right, now this piece, yeah, that's not going to come off, and I'm not going to be able to reprint that to make it work properly. No, sorry, I'm looking at that, not looking at the camera, and that was all out of focus. Well, I'll say it again anyway. I can't see any way I can reprint that. Physically it's possible, but my capabilities, there's too many bits on it. And too many bits will need support structure, and even just, you know, you'd have to print it from this end on the bottom, so that bit sticking out is a problem. You need to have a support structure under it just to clear that bit. Then the 3 teeth, then that. I don't suppose it matters whether that piece is solid all the way up, and then that piece, or print it in 2 pieces, which I think that is. I think that's 2 pieces glued together. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think that's 2 bits glued together. So you have to print that piece, and I've got a real mess on the desk. I'll have a think. While I'm thinking, I'll just show you, that is my replacement bit there. So I'll class that one as a success, although even that one I had to print an extra little washer so that I could print that flat, because it should have that little bit sticking out on the side, like that. I could end up reprinting every single part of this, I should think, with all the bits that break. I'm trying to talk myself out of trying to attempt to print that, to be honest. Just in case you're wondering what that little bit is that sticks out, that's the bit that goes into that spring, so that we got the, let's put that back in place, so it holds itself in position. And I just know that if I print that from PLA, that'll last for about 2 seconds till you've actually got it in there, and then it'll just snap off. I might be able to make it a little bit thicker if we've got a bit of extra space in there. But then if I make it thicker, it won't. It's got to have clearance for that. Still trying to talk myself out of trying to do it. Well, there's my attempt at a 3D printed version. But you're going to have to wait for the next episode to find out if it actually works. Being as it's midnight. Right, 3D printed this. Is it going to be any good at all? Had to print it on a raft with support pieces because that piece needed to stick down. Just shot off over the room. Right, so that's that piece. I'll clean it up later. The big question is, oh yeah, that slides on. If anything, a little bit too loose. But my plan is to glue it in place anyway. So that is supposed to look like that. So are those teeth going to be strong enough? And can I get that shaft out of there? It looks like it's been glued in place. I think I'm going to have to try and tap it through with a hammer to get it off. Right, it did come apart. I was right, I did have to hit it through with a hammer to get it through, and it was glued onto there. So, technically, I might only have needed to do half of it. I made that one so it goes all the way through. Right, well, oh, the other thing is I've made that a clearance fit, whereas on there, so I actually had to tap it through as an interference fit there. I have made that a bit loose, but I'll fill it with glue. Right, what's the chances of getting it back together? Because that one's stuck on there as well, isn't it? Right, problem. I can't remember which way up that went. I don't want to stick it on upside down and then find... Oh, curses. Am I going to break that putting it together? No, because that's not glued solid yet. Right, let's try and work this out. That piece is actually that way up. Yeah, that way up. That way up, so that way up there, so for that to be in there,
that way up. So get that back in there before that glue dries. Right, I think that's the right way up. I think. Right, I'll put a bit more glue on there and put some kicker on it to make it seal properly this time. Probably should have left it even longer for the glue to dry, but I want to see if it's actually going to work at all. Right, that goes on there. That one goes on there, but it can't go on there till that one's out the way. I think they actually go on at the same time. So that goes all the way around there. We're not going to know till all the bits are back together. Okay, so we're going to have to put all the bits back together. Oh, now they've got some grease on them. So I pinch a bit of that grease and put it down on my gear. That should help that. Oh, there's that bit of plastic. Was that through there then? Must have been. Did it go on there? Looks right. Now I've got to try and get all of these in. An awful lot of shafts got to line up. Gonna have to put some screws in it. I don't like them when they're this complicated. But at the same time, I still find it pretty irresistible to have a go. do hope I've got that the right way up. I expect the wires will fall off next. It goes across there. Where did the wires come out? Oh. I think they came out through there. I think that's the right way up. Yeah, I think it is. Bit fell out again. Okay. Definitely need to put a few screws in here. Didn't put one in there. Right, is it worth putting a battery in it and giving it a little try? Right, I'm not going to fully assemble it by any means. Just see what happens here. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. Alright, it did that. Does it do anything going the other way? Oh, it didn't go all the way. Oh dear. That didn't go all the way. Oh, something's not on there. Is that one turning? No, that's not turning. Turned a bit and then it stopped. I think we might have to put this on just so we can see what's moving. I think we've gone too far for it to... Something's not in place, is it? Right. Okay. So we'll take the case off. Again. It might just be that I didn't put that odd shaped gear in the right direction to begin with. Helps if you undo all the screws. Right, so yeah, I reckon I might put that one on backwards. It's moving now. That's what I reckon. Got it round the wrong way or something. Some would say the obvious answer would be to go and watch the video I did of taking it apart. Right, well, I can tell you what's happened, exactly what I said would happen when I said it was going to be too difficult to print. That little cam bit has broken off. I don't know what we can do there then, because I can't think of any way of printing that. That's just broken off of just there. I don't think we're going to be able to do it. Unless we can think of a completely different way of printing it. Hold that in place. I also get the feeling we're missing something here. Oh, I suppose when that's in place, that can't turn all the way round, because it was going all the way round and going out of line. But when it's actually got this bit in place, it can't go that far. So it's probably a bad idea to try and test it without those arms on. Right, okay, well, guess what I've got to do? I've got to print that again, but I don't know if it's worth the effort, because it's what I keep saying about this PLA, it's not got the strength. I will have another think. Actually, it's just occurred to me, we don't need to put that bit on, because this stops itself when it goes up and down. That's as far as it can go. Must be a I need more fingers than I've got. Let's try and try and run it. Let's try that again. Plug the battery back in again. Hold it in place. That's going to turn round. Right, and that's forcing that the wrong way, so when we put that together, that has to be in the bottom position. Top position. So the reason it broke was because I didn't put it back together in the right direction. I could print it again, couldn't I? Try again and assemble it in the right order. I can see now that's got to be up like that, and that's got to be down like that when we put it together. if that makes any sense to you trying to watch it. Hi guys, trying it again. I've printed exactly the same piece again. I'm just hoping that assembling it in the correct order might stop that little bit snapping off. It's not going to stop it for long, this has got no strength. But if we put it in that way up, remembering to put this piece in as well, so at the top of its stroke with that down at the bottom of its stroke. So let's put that piece through. And we've got to line the little peg up with the spring and get that piece in at the same time. So line it up with a spring. You won't be able to quite see what I'm doing. Right, that's all in line. And then put that, make sure that's at the bottom of its stroke. Yeah, right. Here we go again. Now, to be honest, if it breaks this time, I'm not going to take it apart because there's not much point. I don't have any other material to print it with. Just do what we did last time, pinch a little bit of that grease and put it on the teeth. I've got some somewhere. Oh, there we are. Tiny little bit in this jar, just a little bit at the top there. So I have to be very sparing with it. I've no doubt I could buy some. I think it's silicone grease. I think. Right, can we get all these gears aligned, or shafts? Right, they're all in place. Okay, are we ready for this? It's either going to go whir, click, snap, or it's going to go whir, click, snap. Oh dear. I'm being very gentle, as you can tell. You see this one's turning. Right, that's where it should stop. And that should be the little spring clicked over. Will it go back the other way? Oh, don't like the sound of that click. Nah, I think we've gone already. I think it can't fight against the spring. Or we need to get the alignment different. Oh, that's interesting. It's like it's trying to go too far, isn't it? Or is that as far as it's supposed to go? Never having seen the original working, we don't know. My perception is it hasn't gone far enough. But even if I push it, it's not going any further that way. Right, I'm going to take it apart again and have a look. Right, taking the screws out. No, I haven't. I did undo that. Yeah, screws. It's going like that and it's getting stuck. Ah, I see what's happened. It's actually slipped over the top of that spring. Oh dear, like it's not long enough. And yet it's shorter. Shorter or exactly the same length as that one. It's actually stepped over the top of there and dropped on the outside. Yeah, it actually stepped. Supposed to be there. Can you see what I'm showing? And it's actually gone round, but on its way back it stepped over and it was on the outside, which is why it couldn't go all the way back. Right, that tells me that I've got it. I may have made that outside ridge too wide. I don't know, it looks identical to me. Right, what I'm trying to do now is file a little bit of a slot in it to try and retain that spring in the right place. Obviously that's going to make this weaker. If you can see what I've done. I'll leave that off just for a second so we can see it. So that goes on there. Can you see that at all in the camera? I don't know. It's got a little groove to sit in now. I also think that needs to be filed off a little bit at the front. It's there. It's going to break, isn't it? Eventually. Right, let's try that again. Right, that feels better. So, we'll try that again. Get that in the right way up. This is another one of my very long videos. Well, I will break it up into bits and pieces, but right, that's in position. And then that. And zoom out. Put my needle files out the way. That one goes on. That one goes on. Something's not in position. No. That plastic bit isn't in position at the front. That bit's dropped out. Right, try that again. That one missed. That one's in. Do we risk giving it a little try without putting the screws in? Right, and I'll go back the other way. Oh! That little click is the spring going past its stop. That's, but it's not jumping off now because it's in that little slot that I carved for it, or filed for it. Right. Okay, we'll put the screws back in and we'll put it back together. If you watch the video, I think it was 2 videos back, the reason we were doing this was to put an aerial on the receiver. Nothing to do with all this, but I had printed this bit, and the only way you could get that bit in place was to take this apart. And when we took this apart, we noticed that those teeth on there were broken, so I've printed that bit, and that's the bit that was giving us the trouble just now. Right, that's not good, that's slipping in there. That's supposed to be fixed in position, glued in position. Anyway, I'll screw it all back together. Right, I wasn't going to bother videoing this, but I will do. I probably won't have the sound on it, just in case I make any comments, rude words, or whatever. And so my wife's chatting in the other room there on the phone, and she talks loudly. I should shut the door, I suppose. I might go and do that in a second. Otherwise you'll be trying to overhear the conversation in the background. At least some of my viewers do that. I remember one of them proudly telling me that he used a filter to filter out the noise so he could listen to what was going on in the background. Right. Okay, those wires come round here. Into there. That bit probably goes on there. Not sure. We'll worry about that in a second. That bit's more important. Don't remember whether it goes at that side or that side. So it could, of course, go up there. No, that's no good because it could drop out at the bottom there then. So it must have been right the first time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, looks like that bit goes there. And that bit goes there. Okay. Just in case you can't see, there's one screw just there. Right. That sits in there. Those wires there somewhere. That's my new aerial. No, you can't see, we're too close in. Right, hang on a minute. Move the camera. Right, the blue wire is the new aerial that I put in, which was the point of the exercise. Am I doing this backwards? Yes, I'm doing this backwards. Okay, there's a circular bit there that goes over that. That's the steering. Pull that out of the way. Oh. Right, that's it. So let's get some screws in the bodywork. I was saying in the earlier video, there's an awful lot of bits missing from this toy. Lots and lots of bits. There should be things like hydraulic rams here, or they look a bit like shock absorbers. They're dummies, but they should go from there to there and there to there for when it turns. There should be wheel arches over the front wheels. Oh, actually I said to there. Yeah, that's right, there to there. The wheels go on right up there. At the moment, I seem to be short of one screw, which is not surprising because this has been laying on the table for at least a day. But we'll have to have a little hunt around, see if I can find it. One screw for there. Not that one. Not that. Right. I'll move the camera and have a bit of a search. Right, can we get this back on? It's going to go there. Can we put the wheels on first? Probably. At least they're just a push fit. There's a bit of knurling on the end of this shaft to hold that. This is sort of very hard rubbery plastic. Do for now anyway. Right, now for the fun. That's in. That's in. That's in. This is going to be the fun bit. That's there. There. These two screws. Right. There should be something going from there to possibly there. I don't know. A dummy hydraulic ram. Again, I was saying in the earlier video, I've looked at lots of pictures online to try and identify how much is missing. Certainly there should be some wheel arches over here with lights on them, not working lights but lights. So a ram, hydraulic ram from there to there, hydraulic ram from there to there, same on the other side. That one's broken, and there should be some more of these along here. And the feedback on the sites where they've been sold were saying looks really nice, but the plastic is really brittle and rubbish and they just break so quickly, and all the pictures I've looked at have got something broken on them. So what's going to happen if I press this button? Let's just move that so we can see the action. So this thing is rotating. And then that flicks up. So that when we go the other way, that goes up, and then when it gets to the top, it should flick the other way. There we go. So that'll empty out whatever it's just scooped up. Yeah, and that's just at the stop point. It should flick the other way when it gets to the bottom. No, that can't quite do it. Yeah, that ought to come down. That ought to be up there. Maybe it's broken already. That's what should happen. It should land flat like that, so you go along and scrape stuff up, hence the name scraper. Rather than dig, it scrapes. And then when you lift it, you drive along with it like that, go forwards, and then eventually up there, tip it out. That did it all right that time, didn't it? Maybe I just went too far the first time. Yeah, that's happy now. It looks like there should be a stop just there. There's a bit of white plastic there. Let's zoom in. Oh, I think, no, you can see it, can't you? That white bit there, I think there should be a peg, like something like that, sticking out to stop this going up too far and having that problem that we just had. Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah, it's working now. Ah, alright. Well, in that case, we'll call it success for now. No idea how long that'll last. Yeah. Forwards, backwards on this controller is these two buttons, and I can't remember which is which. That's forwards, that's backwards, and then steering. Right, job done. I've just remembered the object of the exercise was to replace the aerial and increase the range. So I was having to hold the controller this close for it to actually work. So I think we've improved the range. Although I did try it just now before I remembered to film it, and it stops just past the entrance to the kitchen there. Yeah, yeah, it's just losing it at that point, isn't it? I've got to say, I'm pleased with that. Yep, I am happy. Right, this is going to be a bit of a bumpy ride for you because we've got the action camera on the shovel or the scraper. So we'll go and give it a try out here. Alright, first of all, okay. I know what happens here because I just tested it. It will suddenly flip over. There. Right. Back down again. So about that height, you might be able to see what's going on. Okay.
bumpy on there, isn't it? Oh, stuck. Let's come back a little bit. Try it right up there for a minute. Oh yeah. Well, we've improved the range. That was the initial target of this little session of modifications, just putting a proper aerial on it. And then I got stuck doing all the other bits and pieces. Right. Backwards. Lacking grip now because we've got all that weight on the front. Right, let's stick that camera somewhere else. Okay, right over here somewhere, so we can actually see the scraper shovel going up and down. Where we're going to pick it up. That's too big. It's got no real strength at the front there. But the range is working fine now. Oh, we nearly picked it up then. I wonder if I got a smaller ball. There were some, but my grandsons have been out here. Got it. I didn't want to do that yet. I haven't got the power to do that. Got it again. Now, all the way up, and it should drop it at my feet. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. So, a fair bit of success. So that'll do for now. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.